In this video, I'm going to show you how to get a render set up and get ready for a portfolio piece to be saved out. All right, so we have everything finished. We've got all of our materials on our drone, and I just want to congratulate you for getting to this point. So this is the point where you want to create an image so that way you can turn it in for a school project or put it into your portfolio, whatever it needs to be. Now, typically with a product like this, what I like to do is just create some sort of background, and that could be a number of different things. One way to do it would be to go to the left view, and I'll go ahead and go to the shape, and I'm going to create a line. I'm going to back way up here, and I'm going to start right up here at the top. I'm going to hold shift and then left click and then drag it out. So it's basically an L. So right click, and then what I'll now do is go ahead and go to vertex mode, and I'm going to select this vertex on the corner, and I'm going to use the fillet tool, and I'm just going to drag this up, and it's going to give me this nice little taper here. Now with that, what we'll now do is go ahead and use the modifier, and I'm going to use extrude, and we'll take our extrusion amount up, and that'll create this nice piece of geometry that we can now use. Go ahead and give it a pretty large number there, about 1500, and then grab your move tool and then move this into position. Now you could go ahead and apply a material to it, or what you could do is just simply add a white material, okay, just like that. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to get a view that I'm happy with in my perspective view. Let's go ahead and select everything. Whoops. Let's take our backdrop and drop that down a little bit to where the feet are actually on the ground here. And so once we have this, let's make sure that we have the correct faces showing. I'm going to right click and convert it to editable poly, and then let's go to element mode, and as you can see, it's really brightly lit or shaded on the back side. So with the polygon selected, let's use flip on this, and what flip will do is it will turn the polygons on the correct side. So now you can see the shadow on the backdrop. So once we have this into place, something right around here, let me go ahead and turn off polygon mode. Let's come up to perspective, and I want to turn on show safe frame. So what this is going to do is it's basically going to change the viewport to where it will constrain to the size that we've set up in our render setup. So let's go ahead and go to the render setup, and I'm going to change this to 1280 by 720. Okay, and that's usually a good place to start out. Okay, and this will give us a good, nice little render. And I'm just going to kind of position this. I'm going to hold down Control Alt and the middle mouse button and drag just to kind of center this up here. Now, once I'm happy with that, the position of everything, I've also changed the rotation of the propeller, so I just rotated those 45 degrees. Let's hit Control C on the keyboard. And what that's going to do is it's going to create a physical camera. Now this camera is now where we were looking in our perspective view. So now all I have to do at this point is go ahead and go to the render window frame, and I can hit render right here. And let me just pull this down so that way we can see it rendering. And let me try that one more time. Let's stop that. And let's render it again. And I just want to make it a small enough window to be able to see. Now this is going to take just a little bit of time to render out, and it's going to do this iteratively. Now there's a lot of white going on in this, and I'm not really sure if I like the white background. And it might be a good idea to go ahead and just add in a material to that. So using the art renderer, it allows me to just kind of look at it, and it's really noisy, but I'm not worried about that just yet. Let's go ahead and close this, and let's take the materials, and let's just add in a generic material, and I'm going to select the backdrop and assign that. Okay, that might make things a little bit easier to see. And then let's go to our render setup. And with the art renderer, we could just come into the art renderer tab. Let's go ahead and bust this up to extra high, or you could even go max on this if you wanted to. Now what is going to happen is it is going to take quite a bit of time to do this. I'm going to use the advanced path tracing because I do want to get my final look to this, and we're going to add this noise filtering on. And so let's go ahead and just say fully filtered. The anti-aliasing is good, everything else looks pretty good, and then we can go to the render elements. That's fine. Now let's go to the common tab, and I'm going to use a single segment on this. Let's pull this down, and oops, it looks like I changed my size there accidentally. Let's go down to the render output and click on files, and this is going to go to our render output folder. And let's go ahead and just give this a name. Let's call this render_01. Let's give it a file type, and let's just hit save. We're going to do quality all the way up, and then whenever we hit render, it's going to save that out into that folder. So let's go ahead and pull this up just to see what this looks like. And this is going to take quite a bit longer, but here you can see that we can get a product view. Now this is also using some default lights, so we could also add those lights in and get something a little bit different. We can change the mood with that. And here would be a good time to maybe even tweak some of the values of the color of our materials. But with this, you've seen the entire process. We're not going to be focusing on rendering in this course. I just want to show you how you can save out an image if you want to do that. But you've gone through the entire process of modeling out this drone. We've learned lots of different tools, things like extrude, chamfer, bridge. We've learned how to use the cut tool and how to weld things together. All of these tools are essential to a modeler in 3ds Max. So I hope you guys had fun, and I'll see you guys next time.